If anyone has an empty aquarium and they're trying to figure out what to stock it with, I highly recommend that you consider keeping a solo fish in that aquarium. One fish as the only fish in that tank, and I'm telling you from my experience the results are amazing. Now there are a number of different fish that actually do good by themselves, however we know from experience that cichlids do the best. So choose a cichlid, keep it by itself, and you won't regret it. So if you know me, you know I love my community aquariums. The main reason is because I just love collecting fish. I love all the different types, colors, shapes, and sizes. And in communities, I get to get as many as I can. This is my first attempt down here at truly keeping a fish by himself. And this is definitely taking my fish keeping experience to a whole new level. So fish are some very social animals. They love to interact with each other. Sadly, most of those interactions are through aggression. Nevertheless, they are very social and they really love interacting with each other. Now, what happens when you keep a fish by itself? It still wants and needs to socialize. However, there are no other fish in the aquarium, so the fish has no choice but to socialize with you, the fish keeper. Now, you saw from before, this guy is just super interactive. Now, like I said, it is through aggression. However, this relationship is definitely taking fish keeping to a whole new level. So if this is your first time seeing this aquarium, this is the home of Adonis. Adonis is a hybrid cichlid. He's a mix between a jaguar and a Jagovii. And you can definitely see both species within him, although he does favor the Jagovii a little bit more, and that's because his mother was the Jagovii. Now, I call him Adonis because he reminds me so much of Adonis rex. He has that predator instinct. He has the ability to change his colors almost instantly, and then he has those bright red eyes. So that's the reason why I call him Adonis rex, the same name as that dinosaur. This guy is king of this 125-gallon aquarium. Now, I've had Adonis for a little over a year. When I first bought him, he was 1 inch, and I pretty much knew right away that this guy was going to have to live alone. Look at him doing some landscaping. But yeah, I knew that he was going to have to live alone because, one, he's a hybrid, and I know from experience that hybrids just are a little bit messed up in the head. When you consider flower horns, when you consider blood parrots, red Texas, most hybrids are just abnormally aggressive. Look at this guy. But yeah, they're naturally just aggressive. I don't know if it's the hybridization process, but from my experience, hybrids end up extremely aggressive. So I knew that because I was working with a hybrid, he was going to be aggressive. But on top of that, he was a hybrid of two of the most aggressive fish in the hobby, the jaguar cichlid and the Jagovii. The Jagovii is actually rated as the #1 most aggressive fish in fish keeping. So two crazy fish mixed together, and I definitely knew I was getting into something very aggressive. I just didn't expect the aggression to come so early. When this guy was 1 inch, he was decapitating some of the heads of his tank mates. And that's the reason why it didn't take long for me to put this guy by himself. Now today Adonis is about 8.5 inches long. He's about 3 to 4 inches tall, and he's about 2 inches thick. And he definitely is growing very nicely. Now, you know, when I first picked up Adonis, I had no idea of how he's going to look as an adult. And that's because he's a hybrid. With hybrids, you get no guarantee of how the fish is going to look. It can look like the mother, it can look like the father, or it can look completely different. So I had no idea of what colors this guy was going to show, or if he was going to look completely ugly. However, like I said, I am pretty pleased. This guy is slowly developing some decent coloration. Not the brightest colors. I do believe that if he was like a pure breed Jagovii, he'd be showing some bright blues right now. If he was a pure breed Jaguar, he'd probably be showing some bright golds. Because he is a hybrid, it is a little bit more tricky figuring out how he's going to look. Because you can see the blues in this guy, you can see the blues in his cheeks, and also when this guy is fired up, like if I put a mirror in front of the tank, he turns gold. So I'm not sure if he's going to be gold like a Jaguar, blue like a Jagovii. That's still something that's going to be, I guess, decided by himself. But it definitely is awesome watching this guy grow up and watching this guy just go through all these different stages. Now, I always refer to these fish like Pokemon, because it's like they evolve. They start off looking one way and they go to these different phases, and the transformation for me is just one of the best parts of fish keeping. Now, with all my aquariums, the goal is to create an environment that is aesthetically pleasing for myself, but at the same time a comfortable place for the fish to live. In this aquarium, I do believe that we do have a nice middle ground. I definitely like the look of this aquarium. The wood, the rocks, the gravel, the plants. I believe it looks very natural, and for me, the more natural an aquarium is, the more enjoyable. For Adonis, I believe that while he's not happy, he's definitely not complaining. If he was complaining, I do believe these plants would be ripped up and there will be more damage. I don't believe he's happy because this guy just would prefer an empty aquarium. I think to make Adonis happy, he needs an aquarium with no gravel, with no rocks, no wood, and that's probably because this is his territory, and the less there is to distract him, the better he can just keep everything safe and keep everything in check and organized. But overall, I believe that he's not too mad, because like I said, if he was mad, he definitely would show it. Now, the highlight of this aquascape is the plants, and that's because with cichlids, plants are definitely a rare combination, because cichlids naturally they like to dig, and naturally they like to destroy plants for fun. You have cichlids that will go and rip up plants just for the fun of it, not to eat the plants, not because they want to dig, just because they enjoy destroying. So it's definitely a miracle seeing that this plant is not only alive, but it looks like it's thriving. I'm seeing new runners every week, and it's definitely doing a great job spread across this substrate. And this is regular gravel. There is no dirt underneath it, no special nutritious substrate, just gravel, and I don't do any siphoning. And over time, the poop and waste that builds up in the substrate makes it healthy for these root feeding plants and allows them to spread nicely. And I'm definitely loving it. So imagine in the months to come when its entire bottom is just a nice grassy field. Not only will it look awesome, it also will benefit the waters, because you know these plants, they remove nitrates and also they provide oxygen. So it's definitely a win-win scenario. Up here we have some roots. These roots are from pothos, a little house plant I'm growing above. I would take this thing down. Let me see. Give you guys a little look. You can see I made some little islands. I made videos a couple of years ago of how to make these little islands. But one over here, one over there. And the root system from this pothos is absolutely amazing. And these as well are benefiting the waters because they're removing nitrates. And they're doing it a little bit better than these underwater plants. And it's because they grow much faster. Because these plants, they consume the CO2 that I breathe out. They have a lot more CO2 to get, and they just grow faster. So yeah, definitely very beneficial when it comes to the water parameters and just the quality of the water. And not only that, it does provide some nice coverage. Now, Adonis, sometimes he doesn't like too much coverage, because as I told you guys, this is his territory, and he wants to just be able to see everything, to know what's going on. So I do believe that if these roots get too long, he may try to destroy them. but I guess we'll take it one day at a time. Now, someone asked me if I could put this guy in my 880 gallon aquarium, and I believe that this guy is too far gone. Whenever you keep a fish by himself, they become antisocial. So I do believe if I put him in my 880 gallon aquarium, right now he's small, so he will have a disadvantage. But eventually, once he gets big enough, he's going to kill my peacock bass, because those guys are fish that got a lot of bark but not a lot of bite. So he's going to kill those first, and then he's just going to conquer and reign over my jaguars and the more aggressive fish in my 880. And I definitely don't want that. And plus, it's more fun keeping this guy by himself, because as long as he's by himself, he's going to interact with me. If I put him in a community, I believe I will lose this interaction that I have with him today. Then there was the question about females. I do have a female jaguar, I do have a female Jagovii, and I also have his sister, another female jaguar Jagovii. And there is a possibility that I may try to add them to him or to his aquarium. I did try before and he almost killed them, but I believe it was because they were too close to the same size. If this guy does have the size advantage, I believe he may not be so quick to kill a female, but who knows, that may be something I try in the future. But as for now, he's going to stay in this aquarium for a couple of months, maybe a year. And then when he's about 13 to 14 inches, like I said, I'm going to move him up to my 210 gallon aquarium. And he's going to be my main display fish. So yeah, everyone, that's just been a little update on Donnie Boy. Now, like I said, if you have an empty aquarium and you want to know what to do with that aquarium, try keeping a solo fish. I believe that just about any cichlid will be able to fit the category. Even some other fish like gourami. I have upstairs my 20 gallon aquarium. I have a single paradise gourami, and that fish is super interactive. However, cichlids, they have a reputation of just being very smart, very personable, and they're going to have the best bet with the cichlid. I believe that all cichlids, Central American, South American, even African cichlids, if you keep them by themselves, they're going to build a bond with you, the fish keeper, and the experience is going to be awesome. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't happen overnight. Adonis wasn't this interactive overnight. It took him almost 6 to 7 months before he became interactive with my finger. At first, he was a little bit shy. He went through different stages. At one point, he was hiding for like a month straight, afraid to come out. At one point, he was just like swimming around, going crazy, looking at all the stuff in the tank, paying me no mind. And then randomly, one day, he decided to attack the glass. And ever since then, he's been this crazy fish. And like I said, it definitely takes fish keeping to a new level. Just that relationship with a fish is definitely something you would have like with a dog. So definitely something worth having in your fish keeping experience. Anyways, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is just another chapter in Adonis' life, and there's still many more chapters to come. I'm actually making a video of this guy in the different stages of his life, and it's just awesome watching this guy mature, watching the different transformations. And yeah, that's been the video. So like always, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like. If you want more, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. If you did subscribe, I definitely appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.